What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Sauce Boss, and here I am today with a little bit more different content than what we're normally used to seeing here. We're going to be covering a little bit of e-baseball. If you've been following what we've had here with the BCNA and with some of these other projects, you may already be familiar with what that is, but if you're a role player, you're in the UFED community, you may or may not have heard of the BCNA. That's the baseball. I forget what the BCNA stands for, but the bottom line is that this role playing simulation baseball league, which was off the ground and running here, looks like it's now defunct and is closing down. So now there's a void here that I'm hoping to fill with a little bit of simulated baseball league. So I figured I had the resources and the time to do it. I would step up and go ahead and take a crack at running this thing. So the plan is to learn from the mistakes that we made in the past and to move forward here. So I'm happy to have you here. You're tuning into the live stream or watching the replay video on YouTube. I want to get your input on what we should do for the league. Some of you are already part of the Discord channel. Some of you are just friends of the YouTube channel. Either way, if you want to be part of this league, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe a week or two before we start actually simulating games. And we've got a lot of decisions to make on how we want to do this thing. So we're starting fresh. And what I've got here today is the game engine we're going to be using here. This is Out of the Park Baseball 2023. It's not the newest version, it's last year's version, but it doesn't matter because we are going to create an entirely fictional league, and we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So I figured while I'm navigating through the windows here and adjusting all the settings, might as well document it, have you here for the ride, and see where it goes. I expect a lot of things to change. It's going to get a lot prettier than what it looks like right now. The little logo you see there with the XLB is just a placeholder for now. There's XLB is just a tribute to the old the early days of e-wrestling with all the Xtreme federations that were out there. So the XLB is Extreme League Baseball. Rather than Major League Baseball. And the idea here is to have somewhere between a AAA and a Major League product, a quadruple A, if you will. I haven't coined that term myself. That Thad Duke can take credit for that. But what we've got here is the remnants of a previous league. That's the BCNA, where there were 16 teams, and I guess I can go ahead and share this here. But I don't think I want to share it, just because that Discord channel is going to close down. But there are a bunch of teams here. I need to screenshot this so that I don't lose any of this data, because I imagine a lot of those handlers are going to want to continue using those teams in this league. So what we're going to do tonight is carry over a lot of that data, put it into this saved game, and go from there. I don't really know where to begin, so I'm just going to run with it. And could play a little bit of music for y'all, but I would rather add that in post. I think that maybe that's the better way to do this thing, is to shine it up real nice and show it off to you folks once we get it going. So we've created a new season here. The league is composed of 20 teams. That's 4 divisions in 2 conferences. Let's see if we can pull up standings. I'm still fairly new to the interface here. I did navigate this a little bit a while ago when we were looking at going through things using this instead of a Super Mega Baseball Simulator, but we're going to carry it this time through out of the park. These are the tentative divisions we've got set so far. We've got the West Coast Conference, we've got the East Coast Conference, and we've got a North Division and a South Division in each one of those. These team names are going to change. These are the ones that they automatically recommended. Of course, they're all fictional teams, and they can all be changed, and they will all be changed. There are also leaderboards. Let's see here. Standing, statistics. So you're going to get a listing of all the batting leaders, pitching leaders, and I'm going to screenshot these each week with kind of a Sports Center type recap of all the simulated games from that week. I don't know if I'm going to do it every week or every other week or just pop it in the Discord. It'll depend on how things go and what the people want here. So that'll give you an idea what we're talking about. Hey, we've got the New Orleans Horde manager here. Glad to have you. Navigating through some of the settings here. And what we got into first is what you can expect here with the standings, the score updates, entire league histories, year-to-year history. So this is quite the game engine here. It's just a matter of how complicated we want to make it and how simple we want to make it. So I think the first thing we need to do is really talk about the settings and getting all the settings right. I think these settings all have to do with the interface, so we can skip out of that. I think that's fine. The game settings, here we go. This is where I really need input from the rest of the league on how we want to run this. Okay, so I'm just going to start from the top and run through this because I haven't done this before. Use a scouting system. We're actually going to eliminate the minor leagues, so you're not going to see any minor league teams or players, drafts, anything like that. All of the players are going to be kept from season to season. No trades. Eventually, there will be retirement for some of these players, but we'll try to manage this in a way that makes it easy for everybody. Let's start from the top. Scouting reports. I'm going to say rarely there's going to be scouting reports. Don't need to keep any of these reports. We want to keep this. We're not even going to use the scouting system. We're going to turn off as many things as possible, right? Because what we really want are just results and stats. That's, if you can't do that, the league's going to fail. So at a minimum, we need to do that. And if we can get that right, then maybe we add in some of these other items. But I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver here. So current ratings, anywhere from 1 to 100. I think that's fair. Stars. Overall ratings. I would rather them be rated on a number scale rather than a star scale. Because if you have a player who's a 4.5 stars, I mean, what does that really mean? I mean, you put that in your head, like, I guess they're a 90 if they're 4.5 stars, somewhere between a 90 and 100. Show ratings, no cutoff. Values 20 to 80. But this is saying it can go up to 100, so we don't need, do we need increments of 5? I'm perfectly fine with it giving us the actual digits. So I'm going to keep all player ratings are displayed relative to, yes. Based on all players instead of just the players, same primary. Yes, we want it rated on all players. Overall ratings based on all players. Yes. Yeah, so we want to know that even though you might have a hell of a catcher, right? He might be 100 as far as catchers go. Well, he sure doesn't bat like, like the best batter in the league. He bats good for a catcher, but not good in general. Coaching system. Do we need a coaching system? Nope. Turn that off. Enable owner goals. Nope. Turn that off. GM only users. Nope. I'm controlling all the teams as the commissioner. Nobody has to worry about that. You post it in the Discord, and I'll make sure it happens. If you want to change your lineup or do something like that. But I don't think from game to game we need to make those decisions. Autosave once a year, yes. Save box scores from all leagues. Okay. Generate game recaps for all leagues. I don't know what these graphs are. WPA graph. What is WPA? What is WPA? I gotta ask. I gotta go to the chat. Those guys talked about WP. What's WP? I don't know. And while I'm at it here, maybe I'll just jump in the voice chat on. Here we go. We've got the voice chat open here in the Discord as well. So if you can't follow along on Twitch, you can follow along in the voice chat. WPA, worst player available. Generate graphics for. I don't think that's what WPA is cement. Win probability added. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to turn it off. If I don't know what it is, we're going to turn it off. Let's turn it off. Let's see. Okay. Save replays. Do we need to save replays? Screw it. Maybe. Okay. Let's save the replay. Why not? Store replays. Pitch by pitch or just the final pitch? Want entire pitch by pitch? No. Let's leave it by the. Well, no, it should be the whole game, right? Highlights for. Highlights for everybody. Movements. Most of this is text-based, but what you're going to see is that there is some actual gameplay, and it's okay, right? It's not what you're going to get in an arcade-type game. It's not going to be, MLB The Show, but it's more representative of what you would see on like a PlayStation 1. And because that's just a graphic representation of the simulation, that should be just fine. You're still going to be able to see your uniforms. There are player cards, like baseball cards for the players, and some other things that we can do there. You can change the look of your player if you don't like what the default setting is. You just kind of have to tell me what you're looking for. You don't want to get lost in the weeds with customizing every single thing. You really just want to get the season going. Prospect ranking. Sure, annually. Preseason predictions. Okay, sure, whatever. Enable storylines. No, turn that off. Global financial. We'll leave that alone. All right, I think we're good here. Let's move on to players. Enable injuries. No injuries. Enable suspensions. No suspensions. Use player personality settings. No, let's forget about personality. Player morale. No. Player nicknames. Okay. Yeah. Yes. We can do that. Okay. Do we want to skew player development? No, we don't. Do we want the players to develop over the season? And I would say yes. I do like that idea. Elite players who never reached the majors. Uh, oh. Want to delete all retired minor league players. You know what? Maybe I'll just leave that alone. All right, face gen. So each player will have a graphic that goes with them. And okay, everybody gets a face gen. Create them. Okay, only when they're requested, there will be pops up. Backgrounds in the pictures, I don't care. That's fine. We'll leave it all the same. Free agents wear suits. I like that idea. Enable away uniform. Yes, I like that. Enable baseball cards. Yeah, sure. Here we can go in and create a logo and picture preview. Well, I've got to work on the logo myself, so you don't have to worry about the logo. But if you've got a picture for your player you want to use, and wedge that in there. If you've got a coach picture, update coach. No, I take that back. I don't think you can upload your own picture for the players. You definitely can for the. I mean, you can really get in the weeds on this stuff, and I'm trying to skip a lot of this for you, for everybody. Show beard settings. I don't care about that. Skip. All right. Trading difficulty. We're not doing trades. We turn the trades off, right? Trades, injuries. I mean, very hard. Player evaluation. This is for trades. We want to turn trades off. Let's do a search here. Trades. All right, that was not what I wanted. That was not what I. That's fine. We'll leave that the way it is. We're gonna move there. We're not going to do online league. This league setting. Okay, this is where we need to be. If we decide we want to expand the league in year 2, we can do that. We can also schedule a draft. I'm proposing that we don't do a draft, that everybody just gets a stat set, right? If you're rolling a character in D&D, you would not need. You can either do a random roll, or you can say, hey, you have X number of points, you allocate that the way you want. You can have a dump stat, and you can have your power stat. However you want to do it there. I would suggest that we keep the league the same way here. So everybody has a star player, everybody has a dumpy player. We're talking about having 22. Here we go. Edit 3D ballpark construction kit. So we can build a ballpark from scratch. Some of you are going to want to do that. You're going to need to send me the specs for what you want. I see somebody in the chat here saying trades off. And the reason for the turning the trades off is because what you end up seeing is team consolidation. And that becomes a real issue. So we don't want to see a mega team of somebody dumping trading all their best players to another team. So pardon me there. I'm doing a little bit of typing in Discord while I'm also streaming here. We can edit the ballparks. Let's see what we. You can name the ballpark. You can change the capacity, the type of field. I mean, you can do anything you want. We'll tractable. Did it change a picture? It didn't change a picture. Turf. So let's look at. Took my team out of here. There they are. Austin. They didn't change the field at all. I thought the image here would automatically update, but it did not. Anyway, you can change all the distances here and the wall height. You can do all those things that we talked about. So I will give everybody the option of changing their field, and you can do whatever you want here. We don't want any mechanics to be broken. So if you have a field that's 200 feet down the right field line and 500 feet down the left field line, and your team is all left-handed batters, like that would be kind of power gaming the system, and I don't want that to happen. Oh, look at that. I guess you can show current park in Google Earth. Shit. Okay, maybe I don't want to, because I don't have Google. Maybe another time we'll do that. But that sounds want to let's do load a 3D model of a park. Damn, son, look at that. That is beautiful. It's a minor league park. That's about right. The outfield should not look like so. You change the shape of. Ooh, it's fancy. Background. All right, so it's not letting me. So this will take a little bit more work than I'm prepared to do at the moment, but we can do some things with the ballparks. Get it right. Layout. Oh yeah, there we go. Old cornfield, left center, palm trees, a center field. We'll keep the jumbotron. Right field, we can over there. We'll put a fountain. Right field, we'll put a train. I guess that's like New York with the train there that goes. There we go. Oh, it's a Camden Yards warehouse. Big fan of that. And put the whole thing in red. Beautiful. So there you go. That'll give you an idea of what you can do with ballparks, which is pretty dope if you ask me. This looks. I don't know what park this is supposed to be, but I'm not going to save this. I'm just playing around here. Let's go back. Oh shit, we crashed it. All right, let's try that again. We're gonna load my game. I probably have lost some of those settings because I hadn't saved it. Setting. This is where but no scouting system. All right, well, we got to here. So I'll have to go back and edit those things and get it to how we want. So we were talking about editing the ballparks. We can edit the league structure. This is where we talked about the divisions. We can change the divisions. We can move them around. The goal is to get 16 teams and maybe 4 jobber teams put in there, just to give everybody a little bit better of a record, make their teams more prominent, give them some easy wins there at some point. So we'll talk about what we want to name the divisions and where we want the teams to be and where we want who we're going to put together in these divisions. So something to think about later. We can change the logo for the league. I will certainly do that. As far as the rosters go, we're going to do you're going to name your roster, and then I'm going to assign the players with the stats that are given to you. That'll take some work on my part. Set all teams to control by self. Yes, I am in control of everything. Yeah, that's what we want. So that'll take a lot of data entry on my part to get the players in there. Hopefully, I can do some copy and pasting. And once I do one team, I can just copy it over. All right, so we talked about this before. The name of the league and the names of the teams and the divisions that are there. Of course, the colors and the logos, we can do all that. So that's the league colors. Rules, designated hitters. I like the designated hitter. Reliever must face at least 3 batters. Interesting. That's fine. Extra innings off. So that means you can allow ties. Yeah, let's say like after the 10th inning, go to a tie. So you get 1 extra inning. Roster size. You said 22 players. Reserve roster. Expanded roster. No, don't care crap about that. There's no injuries, so you don't need to expand. No. No. Right, so there's no injuries. Enable trading. This is where the trades are here. And I just want to keep the trading out of it because you don't want people doing slimy trades and pissing off everybody. The teams are perfectly balanced. Then, I hate to offset that and have a power team. All right, I see in the chat here, if we ever eclipse the maximum number of managers, we can have minor leagues and do the British soccer style. So I think what you're talking about is a relegation league where you have your A league and your B league, and at the end of each year, the bottom teams in the A league move down to the B league, and the top teams in the B league move up to the A league. And I like that idea, right? And that's certainly something that I could do, although I don't think I would want to do it because it would not transfer over the career stats of the players because it would have to be ran as 2 separate leagues. Maybe it could be done. It could be done if I set it as 2 separate leagues that never play each other, and then maybe it could be done. I don't know if I want to add an extra layer of difficulty to stat management here. Enable an amateur draft. No. Well, I think we would decide at the end of the year. I would keep it make it a keeper league, right? So at the end of the year, everybody gets 1 new player, and they can, or a certain number of points, and they can I don't know. We can decide what to do at the end of the year, but you don't want to put the cart before the horse and say, well, this is what we're going to do 5 years from now. Let's just worry about getting one season done. People will probably want to bring in new players after the first year, so maybe we just swap them out. I don't know. Okay, let's look at financials. I don't give a shit about financial. Do not want to. I don't want to include this in anything that we're doing. Enable financial system. No, don't give a shit. Attendance baseline 30,000. Yeah, that sounds great. I'd love to hear what the attendance is. I think that's cool, but we don't need to talk about dollars and cents because they're not signing people. There are no contracts. There are no bonuses. None of that stuff. It's not important. It's not important. This is more of arcade simulation style. Options. Enable automatic evolution of the league. No, we don't want the game to automatically recommend expansion or to recommend rules changes. Like we want control over that. We'll take league votes on what to do there. Okay, so that's where unchecking all these things. We don't want that. We can add our own end of the year awards. MVP, pitcher of the year, batter of the year, Golden Gloves, custom awards as well, and it'll automatically determine that based on statistics. Enable manual Hall of Fame voting, AI Hall of Fame voting. Well, I think I would rather have the computer decide who gets in the Hall of Fame, so it's not a popularity contest. Does that make sense? That seems like the way to go. There will be no Hall of Fame as long as players are active. There are no stats. They'll look at milestone numbers in order to determine what you need to get into the Hall of Fame. Um, so we can worry about that much later. Several seasons of it never get there. Okay, number of games per team. I like 81, half as much of a season as a typical 162. That'll give everybody a little bit of break in between the games. We'll probably sim all the games for a week all at once. I'm not going to be doing commentary. That is what will kill the league. So if somebody wants to do commentary, then maybe we'll find a way to get them a replay of the game, but otherwise, not going to touch it. Okay. Let's see. Before start on a certain week. Yeah. No, actually, no. I don't care what day the season starts. It's going to start. We're saying that's April 1st start date. Game times. Care. Series is going to be one game instead of three. It's going to be more of like a collegiate style where you just play each team once. Um, you know, the home series of 3 games at a time. Maybe we could get away with that now that I think about it, because there are half as many teams. You can still do the 3-game series and still cover everybody. So maybe we do that. That might actually be. Use a balanced schedule. Yes. Interleague play. Yeah. Allow rainouts. No. Spring training. No. Don't care. Hold an R-Star game. Yeah, that's fun. Automatically schedule it. All-Star game decides home field advantage for the final. Okay. Yeah, why not? All-Star game location. We can either award it or it can be auto-selected. What's a popularity? Human managers to vote. No. Want the AI to pick. All-Star game roster size. No, you only need 22 on each roster. That would be fine. Every team gets an All-Star. Yeah, I like that. DH in the All-Star game. Sure. Home run derby. Yes. Run full. Yeah, sure. All-Star full run challenge soon. One day before the All-Star game. Sure. Okay. Playoffs. Yeah, we want playoffs. Break ties with the tiebreaker game. Okay. Why would there be a tie? I don't understand. Whatever. Alternate home field for a final playoff round. Yeah, alternate. Sure. Use custom playoffs. Yeah. Oh shit. We can play with that later, right? But right now it looks like your division winners plus 2 wild cards. Sounds good to me. We can vote on that later, right? Okay. Players. Here we go. Age minimum. Create a player's age. They should all be between 18 and 22 years old, right? That sounds right to me. International play. I don't really. I do not care about any of that. Don't want to tinker with any of the modifiers. Not going to touch it. Okay. Stats detail. We want very high detail. Because we're nerds, we love stats. We're going to have the stats. Which settings do we? Nope, we're not going back to an era in baseball. Automatically adjust league strategy. No, don't do that. Roster rotation. 4-man rotation. That just it allows for more wins for the pitchers, and it'll give you more relievers on roster as well. Vault starters in relief. No. Number of relievers. Shit, we said there was gonna said there were gonna be 10 pitchers, so that would make it 6 relievers. Number of position players, we said it was gonna be 12. Same for the no DH league. Still 6. Right, so that's 22. 22. Allow two-way players. No. No, I don't want that. Use of relievers. Relievers should be used a normal amount, right? Use of closers, very often, yes. Use of openers. Yeah, very rarely should they come in for relief. So the question was about stamina. And I don't know how stamina is affected, but I'm not going to mess with the default setting there. Yeah, pinch hit for pitchers often. We want to do a DH league so that pitchers are able to pitch longer, higher pitch counts, more innings pitched. Everything else can be normal, hit and run, bunting. Yeah, I mean, these are all the standard settings there, other than the roster size. Keep that. League totals. I don't know if this is based on the number of teams or what, but not going to monkey with it. can add developmental leagues as well. I mean, you see, there's so much you can do, and we're trying to just scratch the surface of what's available because you can really get lost in stuff. But let's go ahead and let's look at one of the teams here. So we talked about the New Orleans Horde being one of the teams, and maybe we need to look at first settings. Want to teams, leagues, and teams. Okay, so let's take that team for instance. That's the Saints fan. We're going to say that's going to be West Conference, Western Conference, not the North. We'll put them in the South, and instead of Seattle, we're going to call this New Orleans Horde. It's going to be NO in the USA. There we go. Go up, change the team to that Seattle team. Take. It says the New Orleans Hoarder. Okay, so got to change that. On league settings, and we want leagues and teams. I spelled it wrong. I'm a dingus. Come on. Board. Order. Freudian slip. I guess. Change it to seals, and then change it again. Here we go. And from here we should be able to change everything about the team. Keeps all the organizational statistics, which is pretty damn cool. Here we go. But settings. There we go. Now we can really get into a deep dive of what's on this team. Pick the exact city. It doesn't have to be one of the presets. And any roster change. Owner name. A lot of this stuff is not used. And it looks like it's got the sauce boss listed as the manager for every team. Maybe we can change that up, but we just don't want the AI making a bunch of changes to the team. I simulated one season of the and it traded away half of my players mid-season. They were super good players, and it just traded them away. You can make a team picture of all your players. You can make cards for the players on the. Oh, there's lots of stuff that you can do. Oh, here we go. Now here's all the players. Now that I click that, it'll give you the best players. It gives you your team leaders. There's a lot here. But what we wanted to do, wanted to change what the forms look like and what the logo looks like. I can't remember. Here it is. This is where we can get in. Now we can really start changing around what everything looks like. You can change the logo. We want to select a logo. Oh, you see there's, and it's got to be a PNG image, and I don't know if, I mean, these are kind of janky, but you get to change much everything about this. So I imagine, oh, that's the logo is changing. There we go, the ball cap. We want primary color to be dark green. We want the bill to be black. Logo. I guess it'll automatically randomize. And that's fine, right? Change. That's actually probably in a black. The jerseys, we can make those. There you go. Now it's starting to look like a uniform. Stripe. Let's put a gold stripe down the side. Pants, same thing. Give them the white pants. We'll give them gold stripe. That's foul. Let's not do that. Let's do that. Now, and now here we go. Now we've got an actual jersey, ball cap, logo. Change all that. We love it. It's amazing. You can go in there. You can edit the ballpark. We talked about this before. You can tinker around with that. So I think that's about it. So I wanted to show you guys what we can customize going into this game. It'll require a lot of input from you guys, and it'll require some data entry from me as well. But I imagine a lot of people will be like, just make a team and just let me know how they do. And that's fine. But some other people will want absolute control over everything. And in that case, you can either download a copy of the game yourself, and you can export the information, and I'll import it in here. Or you can get on a live chat with me, or just, direct message me what you'd like your team to look like, what you'd like your team to do, any ideas you have for rule changes, or pretty much anything, and we'll get it into the game. There's still a lot of decisions that have to be made about the format and about the mechanics, about what the stats are going to be for the players, but we're going to get there. I promise you that. It'll be a lot of fun. It's something that can be simulated really quickly because it shouldn't take any effort on your part. The only thing that we want to make sure we do is slow release the results so it gives you time to role play it if you want to. I know the other league did not want anybody doing any role playing, right? They said this is fantasy baseball. It's not fantasy wrestling. Keep those separate. I don't care. I think it's great. I mean, go ahead, make Twitter accounts for your teams, for your players. Do all that stuff. Let's put it in the game. I'll do a Sports Center recap at the end of whatever time frame we're talking about. And we'll continue to make this thing better as long as people enjoy it. It would be pretty damn cool to have 32 active teams that are being used in the game. We just have to find a way to create parity in this league where there's a catch-up mechanic. I do not want to make changes all the time. I don't want to allocate points and have you give me your input so I make updates. I mean, once it's set, I want to let it go. Let it rock, And then if we decide to make some changes, if there are teams that are really having a hard time, but what'll happen is in the next draft they'll have dibs. The worst team in the league will get first shot at the 99 next year, or however we're going to do it. To me, that makes the most sense. That if your team sucks next year, you're going to have a better shot. And maybe we do our whole season instead of over the course of 6 months. Maybe we condense it to every 3 months we do a season. I don't know how we want to do it, but I'm going to need input from everybody on how we want to go. There's certainly a lot of opportunity to make something pretty cool. If you like simulated sports, if you like role playing, if you like baseball in general, if you like customizing stuff, I think we're in luck because there's lots of stuff you can. Oh, look at it. This is wild that they can do all of this. It's way over my head. There's the 3D model. Look, a 3D model of your park. You can go around. I wonder if you can change what is on the ads on the board. So this says gasoline. Wonder if you can change that. That would that would be so freaking dope to actually do that. No, it's not something I'd want to do every time, but if it's something we could plug in there to do some actual advertising, I'd be over the moon about it. Load to 3D, save to 3D. I wonder if you could 3D print your stadium with that 3D model. I imagine you would be able to. I'm 3D printer myself, so I would I would absolutely love to have a little replica of my own stadium on my desk. I think that'd be cool as shit. So that you can change where the dugouts are. Just tell me what we put on the ads. Show fireworks. Fireworks too? Well, I don't think I'm lucky enough to change what's on those. You know what? I'll pursue that on my own. Weather. Look, you can change the damn weather and how often it rains. Holy smokes, dude! I don't know if this is. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. You certainly can. Got sounds. Holy shit! It looks like most of these are just sound effects, but I wonder if. Let's see. I wonder if it'll let me load an as a sound. Nah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like these are OGG files, so they're not. It's not raw sound footage. I have yeah. So I see in the chat there if you could put your if put Rouse's Markets ad in the field somewhere. Let me look into that because I'm sure it's a question people have asked before. Pyro after every home run. Hell yeah. I'd want that too. So a lot to think about there. Basically, the answer is if somebody says, "Hey, can I do this with my team?" The answer is yeah. Yeah, you can do this with your team. We can absolutely do that. Like, there's a way to do it in the game, but it's more a situation of, well, if nobody asks me, they can do it. They're just going to get the default stuff. Step one is find managers who are willing to actually keep up with the team, like actually watch it and look at it. If nobody cares, then we're just playing with ourselves here. But I think that we'll get a good solid 8 to 10 managers who actually follow the progress here. It's on me to keep to update the content. Of course, it's easier to do in Discord than it is to do on YouTube, but I can just do a live stream at the end of every week and just hop in here and say, hey, let's look at the standings. Let's look at the stats. Look at our leaders. Maybe recap the last week of action. That should be pretty easy to do, and I would think that we'd be able to get a guest on the show as well. We were looking. I think I've got it back all the way out. Yep. So here we go. That's the team. So what I need from everybody is a logo of what your team is going to be. It can be anything as long as it's a PNG. You want to make sure you remove the background. Give me your color schemes. Um, this week we'll be putting out your stat list of what your players need to be. So you want to come up with player names for all your players. Any specifics you want in your stadium, as far as what your distances should be, all that, and give me your thoughts on what the rules should be for the game. So there's a lot here to think about, to digest. I'll get this video up on YouTube so people can revisit, um, and we'll see where things go. So let's see. So I want to thank you for tuning in. You're watching on Twitch. I know not too many folks are following yet on the Over the Top channel on Twitch, but we've got a good amount of viewers who watch the content on YouTube, and we tend to continue to bring a variety of different content to the platform. So you're going to get e-baseball content, you're going to get e-fed content, you're going to get watch along videos, pop culture content. You're going to get story time with Travis and Sam. Should be a little bit of everything there for everybody. So keep checking back daily for additional videos. And tell your friends if you like the content. Let us know. Let us know what we do in addition to that, and go from there. Thanks for coming around, and thanks for being a friend.